You're listening to The Donor Doctor Show, where your host, James Newberry, will help you improve the health of your fundraising. Now over to James.
Hey, this is The Donor Doctor. Welcome back, and I'm here with Teresa Garrison. Say hi.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about panhandling and country music. And you probably don't think there's any connection. I'll explain a little bit later. I got the idea from the show because I was reading an article about another Teresa, with same spelling, no H, Teresa, who's a school teacher in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she started panhandling to raise money, but also to publicize the fact that in Oklahoma, the budget cuts have made it so bad that teachers are leaving, and many of them have to come out of pocket for school supplies. And she raised $52 in 10 minutes. She also has a GoFundMe page, and I think the publicity is going to help her cause. But generally, when we think of panhandling, we don't think of people like her, or even street performers, or the firemen who collect money for muscular dystrophy. We're thinking about the quote-unquote bum, raising money on the side of the street. Interestingly, I read another newspaper article about a guy in West Virginia who is, down on his luck. His father was a coal miner, became disabled. Of course, a lot of the coal mines have closed down around there. And the father sold drugs, went into jail, a lot of problems in this family. So to make ends meet, he panhandles. Now, to his credit, he tests signs. In other words, he doesn't stick with one sign. He has 2 or 3 signs. One of them is unemployed, need help. He has another, God bless is another one. He had 2 or 3 signs. And he could make like $40 like in around 3 hours. But he gets harassed by either the police, and there's some guy that just really dislikes him because he thinks panhandlers are bums, they're lazy, he works hard, and you should. There's a lot of people that abuse the whole disability, food stamps, or there's perception is anyway there is.
Absolutely. We live in the DMV.
Yes. So I found it interesting, though, that he was testing his subject line, which is, of course, something that anybody who writes an email should do, or teaser an outer envelope if you're a direct mail copywriter. A friend Stuart he was telling me about one of the panhandlers he'd cross every day started with the sign homeless. Then he went to homeless vet, which is a lot better because then you feel an obligation. The guy's a veteran. He served for you to protect you. Maybe you have an obligation. It's the reciprocity principle. Then, best of all, homeless vet will work for food. Now, that answers an objection. Well, why aren't you working? Well, I will work, But, so most people don't have food there or any work they can give them, so they'd rather just give the guy $1 and not worry about it. So it kind of, I thought that was an interesting one.
Or perhaps you could bring him some food.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't really believe in giving money to panhandlers. I have in the past. I rather give to the Salvation Army and have them handle it. But I noticed you have given to panhandlers, and it's usually because of why? What kind of thing will motivate you to give to a panhandler?
Pets and children.
Yes, I remember that one time we were at the West Virginia football game, and I had to go back to give the lady $2, but it was all the pet.
Yes.
And if I was advising this guy in the article, he had a dog who died because he couldn't afford to take him to the vet, I would have had a sign that said something like, money needed for vet, something like maybe a dollar sign needed for vet, or, just an idea. But I certainly would have tested it. A little girl, I remember being in Mexico when I was a kid, and they had a lot of beggars there.
Yes.
And the ones that were most compelling were the ones with little kids. So, of course, the really old. If you look clean-shaven and able-bodied, that's definitely an impediment in the panhandling business.
Yes. Mexico was very sad for me.
Well, I think, what they say is you really shouldn't give because you hurt tourism. Because people are less likely to want to go down there if they see all these beggars. So anyway, that's my thought. I do think that there are parallels in that you it shows the importance of testing. The guy and it shows the importance of persistence. The guy, if you put enough hours in there, so it does have parallels to regular fundraising. Anyway, let's get to the second part of our podcast, and we're going to talk about country music. I know you're a fan of country music.
Yes, I am.
What are some of your favorite groups?
Keith Urban.
You like?
He's not a group.
Well, okay. Do you like the older ones or more of the younger ones?
Well, of course, I love George Strait and Patsy Cline.
Oh, Patsy Cline's great.
Yes.
Yeah, she's from Winchester, Virginia.
Yes, she is. Yes, but right off the bat, I mean, today we're faced with like all the new groups and the newer
Seems
groups.
like a decline to me in the quality of the songwriting and music.
It's different. It's not country.
Right. I mean, I like the classics more, like Marty Robbins, Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash is just...
Yeah. I think there's better songwriting.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Keith Urban and there's numerous people I could talk about tonight, but I won't name names.
Well, the reason I brought it up is I was listening to a podcast. Malcolm Gladwell has written a lot of books. He has a podcast called Revisionist History, and he talked about the sadness of country music. So he went to like the top songwriters, a guy you may not even know, Bobby Braddock. And he's written a lot of songs. One of them that's not sad is I Want to Talk About Me, is by Toby Keith.
Yes, of course.
And that's called the Male Liberation Anthem. But the thing I would remind yourself, whether you're a male or female, about that song is, if you're a fundraiser, you really want to, that's how your donors are. They're concerned about themselves, and you always want to make your appeal something that they're interested in. I recently got an email that I thought was excellent, but it had a poor subject line. And they made the mistake of not considering what their donors cared about. It's for Every Town for Gun Safety, and the sender was Amy Schumer. I know you're a fan of Amy Schumer.
Yes, I am.
And Amy, well, anyway, the subject line was "Let's Wear Orange." Does that mean anything to you? Let's wear orange.
Yes, I mean, when I think of orange, coming from a hunting family, orange is like something you wear when you're in the woods and to make yourself known to other hunters.
Well, make yourself safer.
Safety. Yes.
So that's why.
I don't believe. I'm not a big fan of hunting, but
that's the logic there.
Yes. That's what comes to my mind.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. You're right. But so I mean, the offer they had was you could get 2 tickets, all expenses paid, to meet Amy Schumer backstage before a concert at Madison Square Garden. Why wouldn't you go to that offer that has to have a much greater interest than Let's Wear Orange? And again, the person there who was writing the email, they were talented, but when they wrote the subject line, which is more important than the email, okay? Let's get an understanding that and we talk about headlines being 75% of your results. Subject line, maybe a little bit less because the sender does matter, but it's at least half. Yeah. Okay, so it's not something you want to do on a whim. That is not the subject line you should have picked. If we go back to what John Capel said in Tested Advertising Methods, there's 3 types of headlines. There's self-interest, news, and there's curiosity, and that's a very dangerous one to try, curiosity. They could have gone with self-interest. I can win 2 tickets. I can meet Amy Schumer. That would have been the way to go. Go with the contest. And anyway, they missed it. But if they'd have listened to that Toby Keith song, they wouldn't have. Anyway, what the guy's mostly famous for, Bobby Braddock, of course, is his sad songs. DIVORCE. That's Tammy Wynette.
And George.
And then George Jones, he sang.
Yeah.
What was the song about him? He stopped loving me.
Her Today.
He stopped loving because he died.
Yes.
Because he died. He had, of course, George Jones had a lot of personal problems, as you know. And I think this Bobby Braddock has too. To be a great country singer or songwriter, you probably have had to go through some trials and tribulations to be a.
Yes, I had the opportunity to see them when I was a very young girl. George Jones and Tammy Wynette on the I'm not sure, a tractor and trailer flatbed. I'm sure
It was
I'm
like
not-
at a county fair.
LA County Fair. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
When my grandmother was alive. Yes.
Did you see Patsy Cline too, or she died too?
No, I did not see Patsy
But you
Cline.
said your mother saw Patsy Cline, or grandmother or something?
No, I was a fan of Patsy Cline.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
That-
the Malcolm Gladwell said the reason, Bob, that country music has so much more sad music, it's better quality as far as that sad as compared to rock and roll, was because the people shared a common culture, and there was an interest in that. And it seems like country music's gone away from that a little bit. Although there was that song by the band Perry, "If I Die Young," that's very sad.
Very sad. Sad.
Yeah, it's very sad. But the point is that you can learn a lot from country music as far as appealing to, because sadness is something that also generates gifts, stories. Malcolm Gladwell also said something I've said several times, is specifics matter. The lyrics matter. A lot of rock and roll, tutti frutti, it doesn't really, the lyrics is really more oriented towards the beat, if you will. A lot of times people don't even know what the lyrics are. Whereas country music, you usually do know the lyrics. It's kind of a different genre in that sense.
Well, they used to say when you play a country music song, you get your dog back and you get your wife back and your girlfriend, etc.
Is that right?
It's in reverse.
That would be in reverse. That's what they say.
But that was the old country, not the new country. It's different.
The new
now.
country, it seems like it's kind of...
It's more pop. It's different.
It's blended a little bit.
It's totally blended. And Tim McGraw he did not like Rascal Flatts when they first came out.
Because
and
of that?
I think that's a good comparison because Rascal Flatts is a bit different. They were in the very beginning. They have not come out with too many new songs recently, but they have one out now. I'm not a fan, but it's just different. I
remember Britney Spears, her father. Not Britney Spears, but the other one. The one that dresses sleazy. Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
Billy
Ray Cyrus.
He had My Achy Breaky Heart.
Yes. He was a hit in the 80s.
And I remember one of the old country people, I don't know if it was Waylon Jennings or
Waylon is a
Merle
classic.
Haggard. Merle Haggard has some great lyrics, by the way.
Absolutely.
I do like him. He's some songs about the Depression and
well, he lived it, and I do believe he's spent a little stint in jail, perhaps.
Merle did? Yes, he did. He did. He did. Which gives him a certain authenticity.
Absolutely, and his songs, it was different.
Interestingly, Malcolm Gladwell says rap has more of this too, and it's a common culture as well. Almost every songwriter for country music is from the South or Southwest. And you have rap, it's all obviously in the cities. There are actually some white rappers now, too.
I really do not like rap music.
Well, I understand, but it does have lyrics. It has a message. Is all I'm saying.
I'm not really sure it has a good message, but I'm sure it has a message.
It has a message. There's nothing that would prevent it. There's Christian rap. There's all sorts of rap. But whether you like it or not, I'm
not familiar with Christian rap, but maybe I'll look into that.
There's all sorts of rap. You could use it for good. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Well, anyway, I appreciate you coming on the program, talking about panhandling. I hope you don't panhandle, but if you do, I recommend that you rotate your signs and test them to come up with the best sign and get yourself a dog, maybe like a 3-legged dog with like one eye, something like that. That would be powerful. When you would have and a kid maybe or something. I don't know. Maybe hire a grandmother, a really old lady, to go with the 3-legged dog or something. I don't know.
Well, Dana Doctor, if I ever get to that status in my life, I'll be sure to contact you. I'll be sure to contact you.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, till next time, I'll talk to you next. Bye.